What is up, guys? It is the year-end review for the Mid-Ohio Catfishing Tournament Trail. This is the Mid-Ohio Catfish Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Jeffers, and we have a lot to dig into today. We don't have a guest today. The guest I was trying to get was unable to make it, but I still wanted to jump on here. I wanted to go through what is going on and what is the future of Mid-Ohio Mid-Ohio Catfishing, as well as our championship, our year-end review for points. What a great race it's been. So stay tuned. We are going to dig into that, and we are going to get rolling. So to sum up the season, we had 9 regular season events. And then we have our championship. Our championship is on the river. We don't know where that championship is going to be. Let me turn this. So I forgot we're on YouTube. Makes it bigger. We don't know exactly where that championship is going to be yet. So the way that works is we had room for 10 teams to place in the championship. Only 7 teams met the qualifications, which the qualification was fish at least 5 events to make it to the championship. Those 7 teams are, and I don't know if I'm going to get this in order or not, but I'm pretty sure I have it down. Sean Dolphin took first. Me and Chris took second. Third was Aaron Goodman. Fourth was Pam Smith, I believe. Fifth was John Davis. And then Jimmy Wesney and Tony Zakovich, I believe, in that order. Those are the 7 teams that qualified for the championship. So the next step for those 7 teams are they have been invited to dinner. I believe it is going to be next Friday at 3 p.m. That dinner is supplied by the podcast or by the tournament trail. We've invited them all to dinner. At that dinner, we will we'll have votes on where we're going to fish. Make sure that everything fits everybody's schedule, the times that we're going to fish. We'll go over the rules for the championship, which will be posted after, as well as the destination on where we're going will be posted after. So those guys have all been invited to dinner. I believe everybody's going to make it next Friday at 3 p.m. so we can make those decisions. After that, on November 18th, we have the championship. Also, we'll be giving away the Angler of the Year award, which again went to Sean Dolphin, which is a plaque. It's a bigger plaque than the other ones, as well as a $1,000 check from our Angler of the Year sponsor, Sizzle Marine. So that's super exciting. Sizzle Marine said that we can pick the check up next week for Sean. So that's what we're going to do. We'll grab the check next week, give it to Sean, and the plaque at the dinner on Friday for the Champions of Ohio. Also, the tournament trail has a gift for each one of those anglers that made the championship that they'll be getting. It's going to be pretty cool. It's something that hasn't been done here in Ohio before for an invitation only championship. So it should turn out pretty cool. Hey, Josh, what's up, man? Happy to have you. So after that, on November 18th, we will fish the Ohio River again. Which pool? Sorry, got a phone call. Which pool? We don't know. One of the pools, if I had to guess, it's going to be Portsmouth, Gallipolis, or Cincinnati. I'm not sure which pool we're going to choose yet. Again, that's up to all the anglers. So on November 18th, we'll fish the championship. That will be live weigh-ins, so everybody can participate in the weigh-ins. As well as we're going to try to do a little something at the weigh-in. I believe that tournament's either going to run 7 to 3 or 8 to 4. Again, that's all going to be decided next week. So let's go over our year in review. This year we had I think it was 70 different teams fish our event. So that's a minimum of 140 anglers exposed to catfishing through the Mid-Ohio. No, I don't, Amber. Through the Mid-Ohio Catfishing Tournament Trail. Unbelievable numbers. Out of those, there was 9 teams that was their first time ever fishing a tournament. Out of those 9, one of them qualified for the championship. One had 4. One was close. The other one qualified for the championship. That being Miss Pam Smith. So huge shout out to Pam Smith. What an awesome accomplishment. This is her first year in the tournament catfishing world. She was able to pick up some sponsors that helped her out through the year, as well as she fished her tail off, overcame a lot of adversity to become part of the championship, the championship tournament. So awesome deal for her. Super excited for it. It was awesome meeting her. She's been such an inspiration to me. Her drive, her passion for this sport is just something that's unbelievable. So again, just congratulations to Pamela. She set out with a mission, and her mission was to make the championship, and she accomplished it. Now, her best finish, I remember very, very vividly, It was second place at Salt Fork. I remember so vividly because she beat me by half an ounce, and she was only behind Sean by less than half a pound. So it was awesome to see her come out to Salt Fork, a lake that none of us had fished. I think there was one team there that had fished Salt Fork before. The rest of us had never been there. And she came out and she drug up a 28-pound flathead, which we were all like, wow, where'd she find that? So awesome for her. I'm telling you, it was an awesome night. When first and third are separated by less than half a pound, it's something. So again, congrats to Pam on making the championship. She had that goal at the beginning of the year. We were the first trail she's ever fished. She came out to fish her first catfish tournament with us, and it worked out great. So we're happy to have you along the tour, Pam. You're an inspiration to all of us. I mean, there's not one person that I don't think likes you. You're everybody's Aunt Pam. So there were some others. This was Tony Zakovich's first year chasing tournaments, chasing catfish. Tony actually fished his very first catfish tournament with me in Alabama in April, and he was hooked after that. Him and his fishing partners, they went to the Ohio River almost every weekend. And when I launched the trail, he was there. He showed up. He's like, listen, I'm going to fish as many of them as I can. We want to support you. So, and Tony Zakovich also came along and made the championship. So his first year chasing tournaments as well. And he's in the top 10, and he'll be on the Ohio River with us. I didn't know Sean Dolphin prior to fishing these trails. I would like to think that Sean and I have become pretty good friends throughout this. Sean's a pretty awesome guy with an incredible story. He's been fishing local tournaments here in Ohio his whole life. I mean, he said all the way back to, I think it was his uncle. He's fishing with his uncle when he was a kid. The guy knows catfishing. I would put him with any fisherman in local Central Ohio, and he could hang with the best of them. He's a great cat fisherman. He deserves the win on Angler of the Year. But I gave him a scare there at the end. You know, when we were talking about a month and a half ago, I didn't think there was a chance at all for me to come back and get Angler of the Year. It was me and Aaron and Sean at one time having that discussion. I didn't think there was a chance that any of us were going to catch Sean. It sure looked like he was going to run away with it. Me and my boat partner, Chris, we click well together. You know, anything that I don't know, he knows. Anything he don't know, I know. Our fishing styles meshed really good. And we were able, starting at Buckeye, we won Buckeye. I'd never fished Buckeye a day in my life, and Chris had only ever fished for Saw Guy there. We were able to pull out a 10-pound fish there almost, which I think is the biggest fish in the lake. That gave us big fish in the win there. And we had laid out a map for ourselves. When we got down to the last three tournaments, we had to win 2 with big fish and win the third. Not only did we have to win the third, we really needed a third and big fish unless Sean finished worse than 6th or worse than 4th. And everything came into a line. The stars aligned. Everything was perfect, except we just couldn't secure the first place at Dillon at the very last one. So we were within ounces. I mean, everything worked. It was in the making to be one heck of a comeback story. Truly believe everything happens for a reason. There's a reason that Sean won, and there's a reason Ron and Don won, and we didn't. But Chris and I have had the time of our lives fishing with you guys. It has been some of the funnest fishing I've ever done. Coming from the tournament director, I didn't care if I won. I didn't care if I lost. To see how many people were having such a great time on the trail, and to watch people have real experiences in their first ever catfishing trail means so much to me as a person and as a director. That's what I did this for. Tosh said, do you want to host something together next year on Indian Lake? Man, I'd be in. Yeah, Tosh. I mean, let's work out some details. Actually, if you look at our schedule, we have a tournament on Indian Lake. Why don't we chat about that? I think the date needs moved. A couple people have told me that it's too late in the year, but absolutely, if we can run something together. I mean, obviously on the Indian Lake side, you're the guy to go to. I know you know a lot of people, so we can make something work for sure. But getting back to it, you know, as a tournament director, this was a dream for me. This trail was, I sat down one day and I thought it up, and I'm like, you know, maybe we can get this to work. I understand that there's a lot of controversy that comes with me over a couple things that I've done in the past. And maybe I wasn't the perfect guy for the job, but I hope, at least for everybody who fished the trail or everybody who followed the trail, I hope I did a good enough job that you guys understand that I'm in this for the right reasons. The money doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care if I win $1. You know, me and my tournament partner, we put so much into this, blood, sweat, tears, monetary donations. The other guys too. I mean, you guys, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that happens on this trail, John Davis, which is one of the newer board members, every single tournament shows up and puts extra money in. We all want this to grow into something that Ohio needs. We're not here to take away from any other tournament trails. We're not here to fight or to argue or to do any of that. We want to make something that's local and that something that every catfisherman, it doesn't matter if you've fished 4 times in your life or if you fished like Sean since you were 15. We want everybody to be able to come, enjoy our tournaments, bring your family, bring your kids, bring your grandma. My grandma's going to fish a couple events with us next year. I'm almost positive of it. Kayakers are welcome. We have a specific rule for kayakers. It's just you have to weigh your fish a certain way. We want this trail and we want what we're doing to be all inclusive for everybody. There's nobody who's going to get singled out. There's nobody, it doesn't matter if you're fishing out of a John boat or if you're fishing out of a 200,000 monster cat. It doesn't matter. $200,000 monster cat. That's not what we're doing. Tosh says, let's do it. We'll get over 100 entries. Bring your people, and we will do a live weigh-in throughout, all about promoting catfishing in Ohio. Tosh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm in. And for that one, I won't fish that one. You and I can just be live doing a live podcast the whole time and weigh in fish. So I appreciate your willingness to do so. But so as I was saying, this trail and what we're doing here, it's about catfishing. Catfishing is supposed to be fun. Fishing's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a stress relief. It's supposed to be somewhere you can go to get rid of whatever problems you're dealing with in life and just have fun. And that's what this trail is about. And I won't let it go any other way. I won't, everybody who fishes the trail gets along. There's no arguments. There was a couple little things that came up throughout the year. We squashed them right away. If anybody had any questions, if anybody had any issues at all, we squashed them right away. That's what we're going for. That's what this is about. This is about promoting catfishing within the state of Ohio, from state line to state line, from Lake Erie to Ohio River. We want everybody to be included in catfishing. That's all it's about. Our tournament fees aren't really high because that's not what we want. There's guys that can't afford $200, $300, $400 tournaments. That's not what we want. But we also offer the side for the competitive guy. We're the trail where if you just want to come with your son and fish one tournament just to get your experience, you can do that. It's $80. But we're also the trail that if you're a hardcore catfisherman and you want to chase a points race and you want to chase a championship and you want to be a part of that invitation only community at the end of the season, you can do that as well, because we offer that. And that's what sets us apart from a lot of different trails. We're not fishing the same lakes every week. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I fish Hoover cats and I love it. Joe Hatfield runs an amazing trail there. And I really enjoy getting better and better and better and better at Hoover. I love it, but that's not what we were going for. We're going to, literally our championship is called the Best of Ohio Championship. We're finding that all around angler that can fish anywhere in Ohio and do good, which is, you can go to Alabama and do good on every single stretch of body of water in Alabama. To catch fish in Ohio is tough. It's not, I would for sure say it is harder to be an angler in Ohio than it is in South Carolina, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee. I fished them all. It is much harder to be a dedicated, good angler here in Ohio than it is anywhere in the country. And I'll stand by that. So with doing this tournament trail, that's what we're doing. We're showing the world or the country, that there are good fishermen here in Ohio. We may not travel to Alabama. We may not travel to South Carolina. We may not travel to Louisiana, Arkansas. There are great anglers right here in Central Ohio. This trail brings all of those anglers together. And what this trail will always stand for, and my goal for this trail will always be that those anglers, the Sean Dolphins of Central Ohio, take time and effort to show the Pam Smiths of Central Ohio what to do. When Pam started this, she's catfished her whole life, and she gives me too much credit. She says I taught her everything I know. I don't know much. I just get lucky every now and then. Pam is a dang good fisherman, but when she has questions and she asks me or she asks Sean, there's always an answer. And that's the difference in the catfishing community to other industries in the fishing industry, other bass or walleye or muskie. Here we're a family. We welcome you with open arms. It doesn't matter if you've never fished. It doesn't matter if you fished your life away. It just doesn't matter. I've seen something about Iowa. What's going on with Iowa? I'm not sure, Alex. But like I said, at the end of the day, this is a community of catfishing folks that just love the sport. I'm offering, not just me. I got to stop saying me. It's not my trail. It's we. There's a board for this catfishing trail. People make fun of it. I've seen text messages all week calling us the board. You know why I did that? There is a person from every single walk of life on my board. The original board members that are still here are me and Craig Shirey. We both have been on the board since day one. We elected to go to 5 board members. It is now me, Craig Shirey, Sean Dolphin, Aaron Goodman, and John Davis. I heard rumors this week that somebody was griping about Pay Lakers being on the board. I made a 15-minute video on TikTok, Ohio River Catfishing. Please go watch it. We all started somewhere. Everybody started somewhere. Hey, Jesse. Hey, Brandon. How you guys doing? I'm not ashamed to admit that when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was in my late teens, I fished Pay Lakes with my uncle and my grandma. Everybody started somewhere. It's what you do after you learn what Pay Lakes are about and what they do. That's what defines you. There are several members of the board that at one time did go fish a Pay Lake. I'm not going to lie. So for someone to bash us, calling us Pay Lakers, that's unbelievable. You don't call, a guy that struggles with alcoholism his whole life and then is clean for 10 years, you don't call him an alcoholic. People's past should not and will not on this trail, as long as I'm running it, will not define their character or how people talk about them during the trail. That's not what we're doing. Brandon says, heck, 90% of us in Ohio started at Pay Lakes. And that's not, unfortunately, that's not false. That we weren't introduced. Unless you lived on the Ohio River, you didn't know anything about catfishing. We can go to Deer Creek, catch a couple baby channel cats, but if you want to catch a big fish, when I was a kid, I thought that was the only option. So I will never hide the fact that 10 years ago I fished Pay Lakes. I will not do it, And the other board members, I'm not going to call them out on here. The other board members that fish Pay Lake, we've all had this conversation. They're not going to hide the fact about it either because it happened. There are people out there, and there will always be people out there who, when you have a good thing going, their one goal in life is to ruin it. I don't care what you're doing, they'll bring up your past. They'll bring up whatever they have to. They'll bring up stuff that you talked about 40 years ago. It doesn't matter. They'll always do it. What, who's this Lansom Young? Handsome Young. Hey, Landon, how you doing? So what's important is what we are doing now, what we are going to do in the future, and the track record of the first year of this trail, I think, is what matters now. Here's some numbers for you. This trail, I posted these on Facebook, and I'm doing them off of memory, so I may be a little wrong. Again, I've already mentioned this. This trail, 70 different teams fished this trail in the 3-month period that we ran tournaments. July, August, September, all 4 months, October. 70 different teams at a minimum of 140 people. Out of those 70 different teams, we averaged high 600 payout for first place every tournament. We averaged $100 payout for big fish every tournament. We averaged 10.6 or 7, I don't remember, 10 point something boats at every single tournament. Out of those 10 or something boats, very few people skunked. I think out of the whole tournament, out of all the placing teams, I think there may have been a total of, 7 or 8 skunks. Out of that tournament, I think I already said, there was like 9 new anglers. One of them being Pam, who made the championship. One of them being Tony, who made the championship. And that, again, that's what this trail's about. I talked to a couple of the board members today. My goal is to appeal to those catfishing people in Ohio that have had a long-standing catfish history, that have done everything they can for the catfish industry, fished it their whole lives, and bring them in. I understand that a lot of those guys have loyalties with other trails, and that's fine. I'm never trying to pull anglers from another trail. I would be a hypocrite if that's what I was trying to do, because I'm trying to grow the sport of catfishing. Me and the board together, we agree that we are growing the sport of catfishing. I don't want to take a guy that fishes a trail every week and say, hey, stop fishing that trail and come fish mine. Absolutely not. That's not what I want to happen. But I'm also appealing to the people who don't fish tournaments. And one of the coolest feelings as a tournament director, and it happened several times this year, is a guy comes up at the end of the weigh-in, he shakes my hand, and he says, man, we've always wanted to get into tournament trails. There was nobody else is really advertising like you do. We'd never heard of any other tournaments. This is our first tournament, and we loved it. We'll see you again. That is the coolest feeling for me as a tournament director, as a tournament trail creator, and the whole board shares in that as well. It's hard for me to sit here and speak for the board because, like I said, we five different people, 5 different walks of life. So to run down through that real fast, Sean Dolphin, fished tournaments for 30 years. The guy knows how to catfish. You know, if you can beat Sean Dolphin on any given week, you've done something. The guy has been to most of these lakes. He did fish a couple this year that he's never fished before, like Salt Fork, where he won. Next, you have me. I've only been fishing for 5 years. I did it on the national stage. I've won tournaments on national television, all the way down to I've skunked on my home water. You know, I've done everything in between. Do I put off that I know it all? Do I put off that I'm the best catfisherman in the world? Absolutely not. What I put off is I enjoy what I do. I enjoy fishing. I have one of the best boat partners in the industry that enjoys it just as much as I do. And what I am put off and what I believe more than anything is I thoroughly enjoy teaching people how I do it. Jesse says you run a very good tournament and we was impressed with it. Jesse, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have your plaque, by the way. Let's meet up and I'll get it to you, buddy. I appreciate you though. Thank you. What I enjoy more than anything, as I said, is I enjoy teaching people who want to be taught. You know, now again, when I'm teaching, I'm just teaching what I know. I truly believe a lot of my skill comes from luck. I can read a fish finder. I've told everybody you can make me float across the lake in a wheelbarrow with a trolling motor and a fish finder, and I will catch fish. I haven't really figured out how to catch the big fish, but I can see them on my fish finder, and as long as I can see them on my fish finder, I'll pull one out of it. Next after me, you have Aaron Goodman. I've become pretty good buddies with Aaron over the last, month after he joined the board. Aaron, the reason Aaron's on the board, the reason I nominated Aaron to be on the board, at every tournament, Aaron was there. He was the last angler to leave. He made sure that I got my boat back on the trailer. He made sure my boat was put away. I was doing paperwork. He was helping me put my motor up. He put money in at a lot of tournaments. A lot of you guys don't know this. He pitched money in for the tournament scales that we have. I could call Aaron today and say, hey, we need to buy this for the trail. And I guarantee you he will figure out a way to buy it or give me half the money or whatever. We will get it. He's also working on some big time sponsorships with some big names. He dedicated a lot of time and a lot of energy when nobody asked him to. So when it came time to nominate the next 3 board members, Aaron was for sure one of the first ones I nominated. And the way our board's set up, when a board member needs replaced or we add board members, I make a nomination. The board votes on it. If they vote yes, he's on the board. If not, we go back to the drawing board. We find another nomination. So I was excited when Aaron joined the board. I think he shares the same passion I do. He's a little bit busier than I am, so he doesn't really put as much effort into it as I do, but I don't expect anybody to put the effort I do into it because this is my baby in a way. I dreamed this up. So day in and day out, I'm thinking about you guys. I'm thinking about the trail. I'm thinking about the tournaments. If something goes wrong, I start thinking about what could we have done better? What could we have improved on? What couldn't we have improved on? What are we doing that we can change to be like other people? I'm constantly asking questions. I'm constantly talking to anglers. I'm getting feedback. So I put a lot of time and a lot of energy to making this trail what it is. And Aaron shares the same passion as I do. So it was a blessing adding Aaron Goodman to the trail. It was a blessing. It was even more of a blessing putting him on the board. Next after Aaron, we have John Davis. A lot of you guys aren't going to know John Davis. I've known John Davis on and off for probably, 10 years. I can't say that we were buddies. I remember I couldn't have picked him out of a crowd, but when he started fishing the trail, I instantly knew who he was. When he walked up and shook my hand, I remembered him from long ago. And man, he fit right in. He was energetic. He was happy. Him and his wife come to every tournament. They're ecstatic. They want to fish. They want to do good. He puts he donates a bunch of money. He's got a couple of big sponsors lined up for next year. Again, he did this without me asking. And that, to me, that shows initiative to someone who wants to better the trail, somebody who wants to be able to help make decisions. So when it came time for that 5th board member, I didn't hesitate. John Davis got the nomination, and it was unanimous. John Davis was voted onto the board. And the last one, Craig Shirey. I met Craig fishing on the national scene. Craig is an all-around awesome guy. You know, he jokes around a lot and a lot. every conversation with him is a joke, but he knows when it's time to be serious. And when I started this and I was looking for someone that was like me, a lot like me, we wanted to have a good time. We wanted to boost the catfish industry. Craig's the first person I asked, and without hesitation, he said yes. He was instrumental in setting up the rules. He was instrumental in setting up the schedule. He's invited some of the anglers that have fished a lot of the tournaments. I mean, he brought Aaron. I didn't even know Aaron before Craig brought him along. So it was When we started it, me and Craig had big dreams. And it was great. There's our 5 board members: me, Sean, John, Aaron, and Craig. I don't expect that board to change. I think we're all happy with what's going on. I mean, and don't think it's not all fairy tales and rainbows on the board either. There are votes where people vote no. That's why we have a board. A majority vote is what changes whatever we need to change, what decisions we need to make. But at the end of the day, we can all vote and then we can all shake hands and be friends again. So we want the catfishing community to know that we are here as a stepping stone for guys that want to go national. We are here for the long term for the guys that want to fish a lot of tournaments, that want to be involved in the catfishing community, that want a big payout. I'm not going to lie, that's a lot of it, and I think that's the reason why we pull so many boats. On any given week, you can come and win $700, $800, $900 on a Saturday or a Sunday fishing our trail, and there's just not a lot of that here in Central Ohio. You can go fish river tournaments and win money like that. You can go down to Alabama and win money 10 times that. But here local, for a Saturday night, you can come in, you can win $800, $900, $700, whatever it is, and get some points towards an invitation only championship. It gives the feel of being a part of something, and even as me, I have to be at every trail. Or at every trail tournament. So for me, I didn't get the full extent of chasing the points, other than I had to do good, right? I mean, I could have been beat. It's only your 5 finishes, your best 5 finishes, without those 3 wins, who knows if I would even have been in the top 10. But to watch the excitement of the other anglers when they showed up to every race and they're asking me, oh, when's the points? And as I promised at the beginning, every time we had a tournament, I had the points posted that night because that's what I promised I would do. So to watch the excitement of all the anglers as they were building points and as they were getting in there, oh, am I still in the top 10? Am I still in the top 10? Am I in the top 5? That was what was exciting for me. What we were able to do for other people through this whole trail. That's what was exciting for me. And I don't think I can relay in words what everything that you guys did for me all year meant. I'm coming off of a period in my life where I was in a dark place, a real dark place, and the first milestone of that was finding a relationship with Jesus. That's what brought me out of the dark place. And then I feel that this tournament trail is what gave me purpose. This is what brought me back to understanding that I'm on this earth for a reason and that God put me here to fulfill whatever it is that God needs me to fill. And this tournament trail filled a big void for me. It was, like I said, life for Corey has been tough for 2 years. Some mistakes were made, and my life went on a downward spiral real fast. And my wife said it in there. This is your redemption story. I don't really think it's my redemption story, but the relationships that I have made in this tournament trail, and the bonds that I have built in this tournament trail, and just the overall what we're doing on this tournament trail has been unbelievably, to my life, to my family's life, to my wife. It's been great. So, and I have all of you guys to thank for that. So it's been awesome. He's coming to take my crown next year. I didn't get a crown. Sean Dolphin got it, Spencer. But it's been awesome. It's been amazing. And I truly think the Lord blessed me when he put me in the position to do what we're doing here. And not I know I'm getting personal on you guys here, but I need you guys to know, because I think over recent weeks, some stuff has been said that's maybe taken the light off what we're trying to do here. But I need you guys to know that there's purpose behind this trail, and this trail means a lot to a lot of people, and there's others that are struggling with life that fish this trail, and they look forward to coming here every week. It's the fellowship, it's the community, it's what we're doing as a group. It's so much more than catfishing. And that's what I really need to drive home to people. It's no matter what the outside world says, no matter what happens on Facebook, what happens on Instagram, what happens on TikTok or YouTube, or I could care less what happens on any of those. The facts of the matter are, we put on a great trail. We pay out a lot of money. We care about each and every single fisherman that comes on this trail and fishes on this trail. We care about the catfish, and we are building something that will outlive all of us. I truly believe that. I truly believe that if you stick around and you talk about this trail in 10 years, it will be something remarkable. And I'm not saying that controversy or adversity will not come throughout the rest of the years. I'm not saying that at all. I think that people get in bad moods, people get hurt, people whatever happens, and they don't know how to express it, so they take it out on other people. They take it out on things that they know, maybe people that are doing good. In our instance, trails that are doing good. And I think the way to respond to that is with kindness. I'm sorry you feel this way. Is there anything we can do to fix it? Which in some cases there's not. There's nothing you can do to fix it. Somebody goes on a binge, they go on a binge. But what everybody needs to know that fishes this trail, and whoever fishes this trail, no matter what happens, no matter what's said, no matter who does what, there is always a spot for anybody on this trail. Because I'm one to tell you that life can get hard. Life can get so hard that you're sitting on the couch one day contemplating if it's even worth being here. And this trail has been such an uplifting and reminder to me about what the purpose in life is, that I don't care what anybody says, what anybody does, you're always welcome to come back to this trail. Because at the end of the day, words are words, and they can be erased, and it doesn't matter. So I got really personal with you guys there. I'm sorry, but I don't think it was ever portrayed what this trail means to me personally. It's not just catfishing. I've made a friend in Chris. I keep looking over at my passenger seat like he's in the boat with me. He's the only one that ever sits there. But I've made a friend out of Chris that I consider Chris more of a brother, more of a cousin. There's not a thing in this world that I wouldn't do with Chris, and catfishing is what introduced me to Chris. Same with all the people on the board: John, Aaron, Chris, Craig, or John, Aaron, Craig, Sean. I've made such good relationships with all them people. I mean, for Christ's sake, I've been calling Pam Smith Aunt Pam for 9 weeks now, because that's how I feel. I feel that everybody who fishes this trail is a part of my family, is a best friend. There's not anything I wouldn't do for one of you. If there's something you need and I have it to give, it's yours. I've showed up to tournaments several times. I've showed up to tournaments with bait when people can't get them. I let you borrow rods. I got extra trolling motors. I offered my boat. I don't need to fish. I'm just the tournament director, but somebody's boat, they were having boat problems. I said, take mine. So what you guys need to remember is this trail is for the catfishermen. We want to build this trail. We want to make it. If that's the case, I need a discount code for TFR. All right. The discount code for TFR is Ohio River 10. There you go. This trail we're building a community. We're building something special. We appreciate you guys along for the ride. We appreciate you guys sticking around. And if there's anything you guys need, you let us know. Moving on from all of that, because I just told you guys a whole life story in the last 12 minutes. We're looking forward to our fall series. The fall series is going to be great. It's got 5 events in it. It's clearly posted in the rules that you have to fish 3 of them for Angler of the Year. Now, the Angler of the Year for the fall series is a donated $500. Pam, you're welcome. I appreciate you guys too. The Angler of the Year for the fall series pays $500. What it is there's 5 tournaments spread out from now to the end of December. I don't have that list in front of me, but I'm going to try to do it off of memory. It changed a little when we voted on it on the board. So I know we start at Delaware, and then we go to Hoover. I'm not going to lie, Hoover is slowly becoming my favorite place in Ohio to fish. There are big fish in Hoover, and I've done well at Hoover. The last 5 tournaments I fished there, I've been in the top 3, and Chris has won 5 of them. So he said, sorry, but it's deer season now. I understand. There's not a whole lot of hardcore catfishermen that are going to show up. We don't expect big numbers for the fall series. It'd be cool to get some. But anyway, so the fall series, 5 events, starts at Delaware. Starts at Delaware, and then Hoover. Somebody want to look and help me out? After Hoover, I wish Hoover was switched. It's a weekend, I have the kids. Oh, dang, Josh. What else are we fishing on the bottom of the series? O'Shaughnessy, Griggs, and Alum. That's right. Alum's next, and then O'Shaughnessy, and then Griggs. So all local to Central Ohio. And the reason we did that is a majority of our fishermen are right here local. We didn't want people to have to drive. We had the river on there, but I don't want somebody to have to drive to the river on December 30th. We had Clear Fork on there. I don't want somebody to have to drive to Clear Fork to go to a tournament on 4 inches of snow. So we decided to keep them all. I mean, the name is Central Ohio Catfishing. So we decided to keep them all for the fall series here in Central Ohio. I'm not saying that won't grow next year. I'm not saying that won't grow in the future. For this year, it's a test run on a fall series. We've never had one before, so we might as well try it. right here in Central Ohio. 5 events, best reefer angler of the year. Um, and I think it's going to be a good time. You know, we got a new logo, we got hats, we got hoodies. I'm actually going to pick up hats and hoodies if you guys would like one. It looks just like the hat with the Mid-Ohio logo on it, but we redesigned the logo. It's frosted in ice, and the lake is ice in the background. It's the Mid-Ohio Catfish Polar Series is what we're calling it. So we're super excited about that. Like I said, we're not expecting big numbers, and because of that, we did raise the entry fee to $100. It's $90 to the pot, $10 to big fish. I think we'll still have a good turnout. I've had several people tell me they're super excited about it. I think if we pull 5 to 8 boats at every event, that's pretty cool. You know, maybe we only pay one place or we still pay the top 2, whatever it is. Those tournaments are going to be all day tournaments. They're going to run from 8 to 4. I posted the rule sheet. I posted everything last week when the board voted on it and we approved it. So you can get on there and you can see exactly what's going on with the Polar Series. You guys are also welcome to ask any questions right here in the comment section if you need me to answer any. But we're excited about that. You know, this first year has been great. It went great. I mean, very little adversity in this first year. We proved that we're here to do something good. We're going to stay here for a while. We are already looking forward to our 20 events next year. I do have to say that schedule that we posted for next year does say tentative at the top. Some things are going to change around. I'm thinking that the Indian Lake tournament is going to be moved to earlier in the year, and we'll probably move one of those river tournaments to later in the year. If we're going to go to Indian Lake, we might as well be fishing for flatheads, and I've heard the flatheads shut off in October. So we're going to probably move it to May. I'll get with Tosh. Tosh will be able to tell me when to be there. So sounds like that one's going to be a big one. That may be our biggest event next year. So I'm excited for that one. We have Sandusky on the schedule again for next year. Everybody loved the Sandusky tournament. Sean Dolphin comes in with 2 fish over 20 pounds. So it's fun. You know, this year we threw this thing together last minute. A lot of guys were already stretched so thin on tournaments they were fishing. Me and Chris fish every weekend. I understand everybody doesn't do that. Not only do we fish every weekend, we find ourselves fishing doubles every weekend. So we've fished a lot of time. I think I added up the other day. I fished like 44 tournaments this year. Most of those my entry fees were paid by sponsors, and we're just out there having a good time. So what a year it's been. What a year it's been for Mid-Ohio catfishing. What a year it's been for this tournament trail. What a year it's been for all the other tournament trails. A lot of the guys are saying, oh yeah, Spencer and Peyton had one over 22. A lot of guys are saying that all the other tournament trails did good as well. I was able to fish trails I didn't know existed. I fished Dylan at Catfish Bob's. We got whooped. We got last place. Hate to admit it. Still hurts Chris a little bit. I was able to fish Hoover Cats. Loved it. I fished the Chasing Cats Trail ran by Rob Younce on the Muskingum. Did great on the first one. Terrible on the second one. So we did. We spread ourselves out. We fished several different trails in Ohio. Offered our support in any way. You know, at this last Hoover tournament, we were able to offer our scales. Our scales have a big display so everybody in the crowd could see. It was a Shane Henderson Memorial. So we had a great time. There was a lot of people there. It ended up being 11 boats, I think, on the boat side, 12 boats on the kayak side. Everybody came together at the end for a celebration with Shane's family of the job that Shane did running the tournament trail. I personally didn't get a chance. I met Shane, but I didn't know him well. But to see the community behind his wife and his kids and Mickey, I thought that was really cool yesterday. It was a pretty special moment that we were happy to be a part of, more than happy to let them use our scales. If there was anything else I could have done, we absolutely would have done it. So, but that's about all I got for you guys tonight because we don't have a guest, so I don't have anything to take up these last 20 minutes like we normally do with a guest. But at one time I looked up, there was 37 people watching this thing. So, guys, again, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate everything that's happened on this trail. Know that we don't take any attacks personally. Nothing like that. You know, it's going to happen. Dylan, what are we going to talk about? You've never even catfished before. We don't take anything personally. We understand people get angry, people get mad, they get hurt, they say things they don't mean, they do things they don't mean. And it's going to happen. There's nothing we can do to control it. There's nothing you can do to control it. Me, John, Sean, anybody. But know that we're braced for it. We're here for the long term. We're not going anywhere. If one day we're only fishing with 4 boats, then I guess we're only fishing with 4 boats. But I would imagine one of those 4 boats would be Pam Smith, who looks forward every week to coming to fish these tournaments. And we're doing it for the Pam Smiths of the world. We're doing it for the people that want to get into catfishing and they don't know how. They didn't know catfishing tournaments existed, whatever the reason may be. That's the reason we're doing it. We're doing it for them just as much as we're doing it for the Sean Dolphins of the world that want the competition. You pit those two against each other, and sometimes the underdog wins. I was the underdog coming into this. I didn't drag much, so I wasn't good on local leagues. But just know that me and the other 4 board members appreciate every single one of you. We appreciate everything you do for the trail. We just appreciate you showing up and being part of the catfish community, as well as everybody who's just part of the catfish community. Would like to give a huge shout out to Jeff Tate. He just recently started a weight company. He's going to be coming on board next year as one of our big sponsors. Chris and I have used his weight now in 6 tournaments. I made a big post about it today. 6 tournaments and won half of them, second and third in the others. So not saying it was the weights that did it, but the weights definitely made a huge impact. And we thank Jeff for everything he's done and everything he's going to be doing next year. He's got some big plans for us, for the tournament trail. He's going to be at CatCon. We'll be working his booth with him. So outside of that, man, do you guys have any questions? Is there anything that I didn't touch on that you guys need to know more about? Any questions you had about the really deep personal story I told you? I'm an open book. Anything you guys need, put it in the comments. I'll be happy to answer it. John, anything that you want to add? Cool. Thanks, Spencer. I appreciate that. I think we're going to be doing that in cooperation with Tosh. It's his lake. He runs all the tournaments there. So I don't think it's a bad idea to do it with him. We can be live for the weigh-ins like he is. I think it'll be a cool deal. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know anything about it yet. I need to get with Tosh and have a couple conversations with him. But I do like the idea of doing it with Tosh. Sounds good, Spencer. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. So, well, doesn't look like there's anything else coming through. Any other questions? John didn't have anything to add. So, all right, guys. I know I haven't done these weekly like I promised. Thanks for everything you do in the community that shows the support. We appreciate everything. Yes, we do, John. We do appreciate everybody. I haven't been doing these weekly as I promised. Life has been hectic for me. We picked up a new contract that's keeping me busy. I will try to get back to doing them in the off season and for the fall series, just to talk about catfishing and what's going on. And we'll have some other guests, some other tournament directors, some of the sponsors. I'm going to try to get Sizzle Marine to do an episode since they did donate the $1,000 that goes to Sean for Angler of the Year. So, but outside of that, again, we appreciate everything you guys do. We appreciate you guys coming to the tournaments. And for now, we will see you guys on the water next time. Thanks.